What's going on YouTube? JT is Reborn here, and welcome back to another edition of my DC comic book reviews. And in this video, we're talking about Batman issue number 150. This is an absolute power tie-in. Well, the backup is an absolute power tie-in. The other main storyline of this thing is kind of a surprising one. This is a big 150 issue, so this is like one of their landmark issues, and I'm kind of surprised with the direction that they kind of went in with it, but they are all following up on a plot thread that was something lingering over from the events of the whole Gotham War fiasco with that guy who was trained by Selina Kyle, who discovers Bruce Wayne is Batman for some reason. And this is about him. He's kind of been dealt a bit of a crappier hand at life, and he's trying to sell Batman's identity, and then you kind of dive into the villains and that not really necessarily wanting to know, and then some people want to know, and all that information, just things go crazy. You see his son has also kind of fallen into the same trappings as him, but Batman basically like does something to kind of inspire the kid to have him be better. Teddy's kind of going through some stuff. Then of course he, confronts Batman at one point, and Batman kind of sends him off on like his merry way, but gives his kid a chance to kind of, do better, and maybe one day when the heat kind of dies down on him, he can return to Gotham. But that's pretty much the main storyline in a nutshell. That one was written by Zdarsky with DENYS COWAN and Jorge Jiménez as the artists. And then in the backup storyline, which is the absolute power tie-in, I feel like these two stories probably would have been better switched because the whole issue was like, Batman issue 150. You usually expect kind of something bigger, but they kind of went smaller, which in some ways I kind of appreciate it. It's arguably like the Be Better storyline is one of the better ones of this run because it was simple and it was kind of Batman helping the everyman. Because even though that these people are criminals, Batman still at his heart wants to try to help and rehabilitate them from these lifestyles so they can, be better. I actually kind of like the stuff in that regard, surprisingly. So that was good. That was a good down-to-earth storyline. That's some of the stuff that Zdarsky is better at. I think back to his work in Urban Legends with the Red Hood story bit. I really like that one. I haven't really been saying that a lot about this run, but this whole down-to-earth thing about him helping a criminal, kind of the everyday folk, that was good. That was genuinely pretty good. Then in the backup storyline, we kind of showcase more of like Bruce's guilt over the creation of Failsafe. We see how back in the day he bought the gun factory that built the gun that killed his parents, and this is the absolute power tie-in. So this is set right after issue 1, and if you want to hear more of my thoughts on issue 1, you can check out the video on that thing. But basically in the backup, Batman goes to find Cyborg, and Cyborg's been basically kind of compromised. He is doing all he can to kind of hold Waller and all that off at bay, but eventually it's going to like not last much longer. But he informs him of a mother box power source that he can go, and Bruce is gonna like have to like find some means to go and steal it, and basically he's going to start to work with Catwoman on this thing. So that's going to set up that absolute power tie-in storyline where they break into one of Amanda Waller's facilities to steal this mother box technology or this power source or whatnot, and it's going to be a team up between Batman and Catwoman. So overall consensus on Batman issue 150, I think the stuff with the whole Be Better thing, I feel like the placement of it is kind of maybe not be for everyone, because this is issue 150. It's kind of surprising that they're following up on that little random plot line from Gotham War, and with the whole absolute power tie-in like boldly like placed on the front. You think that would be the main storyline, but it's actually reserved for the backup. And to be fair, the main storyline of Batman helping this guy named Teddy actually isn't half bad. It's actually pretty decent because, like I said, it deals with Batman helping the common folk and shows the compassionate side of the character that I feel like has been kind of lacking in a lot of titles. Well, I mean, we did have the whole rage kind of bits to it, but Batman does have that compassionate side. I feel like it's overlooked in a lot of adaptations. Like there's always this brutal side to him that's showcased, but at its core, Batman still wants to help people. So I like that aspect to it. It wasn't half bad. It kind of wrapped itself up in a nice, neat little bow. And we probably won't see Teddy again or anything like that. I didn't expect to get this as the main storyline in here, but alas, we did. So it feels like something that you'd see in like an annual issue, but it was kind of reserved for issue 150. And then the Absolute Power stuff's a tie-in, but I mean, it's Absolute Power. I thought it was totally fine, and it's setting something up where Batman and Catwoman are going to have to team up to steal something. So that'll be interesting, I suppose. But yeah, Batman issue 150, it's one of the better ones in this run. Would I say it's the best in this run? I don't know. No, the one issue where he had to use the shark repellent, I that one still is probably my favorite. But in terms of the last couple of issues, this has been a much better one than what we've been kind of getting with the whole fail-safe stuff. And yeah, that's still kind of in here in a little ways in terms of the backup absolute power stuff, but the main thing being kind of a more smaller focused storyline, no mind control or anything like that. Just Batman, like I said, helping the common folk, and you have this guy and his life and how it's just been kind of crappy and how his son's falling into his footsteps, and ultimately the sacrifice he has to kind of make to keep his family protected, but also, you know, Bruce Wayne, Batman, who he found out who his identity was, is still kind of there doing the right thing to kind of help him out through this and his kid through that stuff. So that's always nice stuff. So yeah, Batman 150, not all that bad, all things considered. The artwork is totally fine because I mean the Jorge Jimenez not working on it. I don't think it's the strongest he's done. I feel like Jorge's probably better suited for a more brighter book like Superman than he has been for Batman. Not to say that there hasn't been any good artwork in here, because I mean Jorge is a talented artist and it's not just him working on it as well. But I feel like his strongest stuff has been showcased in more Superman themed and kind of the brighter, upbeat colors than more so with what we get with Batman. But still fine, nevertheless. And, you know, same with the Mike Hawthorne and the other artist who worked on this thing. Who was it? Let me check one more time before I close out the video. But who was the artist on this thing? Yes, DENYS COWAN. So yeah, but yeah, there's some good stuff in here. I think my favorite shot is this one of Batman just kind of on top right here. I think it looks pretty cool. But yeah, like I said, not a bad issue. We get some Two-Face appearances and all that. So yeah, there's some good stuff in here. So not a, oh my gosh, I hated this thing, or oh my gosh, I really love this thing. But you know, it's pretty decent. There's some decent stuff in here. It's a fine issue. It's nothing downright terrible or anything like that. It's not anything I'm going to want to go back and reread 100 times or anything like that. But considering where the bar has been with this run as of late, this has been this one was above that. So this has been one of the better issues. So what did you think of it? Post your comments down below. Be sure to like this video, share it with your friends, subscribe to the YouTube channel for more content. Hit that bell for notifications. I think I got one more DC comic review I was going to do. Completely forgot to do it, but I mean, I'm kind of delayed on this video in general, but I kind of want to get to talking about this one and get it posted and catch up before next week. Sometimes it happens, I get sidetracked or other things get in the way, and I'm just like, oh yeah, it's 4th of July. I didn't really have too much to say about this one like I thought I did. I just kind of read it. I'm like, okay, let's get this thing recorded, and I just never did. But it's getting down to the end of the weekend. I'm like, let me get this thing. I'll be all caught up in time for next week. So yeah, that should be fun. All right, well, that's all I have to say. As always, take care now. Bye-bye then. I will see you all in the next video. Peace out.